All right, so in this video, we're going to be talking about three things. We're going to be talking about variables, we're going to be talking about liquid Spintax, and we're going to be talking about regular Spintax. So if you don't know what any of those three things mean, don't worry, I'm here to teach you. So first, let's talk about all the three terms and what they mean, and I'll show you some real examples here. So first, let's talk about, I'm going to put them all three. So variables, Spintax, and liquid Spintax, L-I-Q-U-I-D, Spintax, okay? So first, variables. This is pretty straightforward. So a variable is just a placeholder that can be dynamically input based off of what is in your lead list. So as an example, if you have first name here, this is a variable. So if you want to insert variables, you press this handy dandy insert variables and it'll insert you some variables. So as an example, first name, what it'll do is it'll reference the import, lead section here, and it'll reference whatever you map as a first name in here. Now you can upload custom variables. So let me just show an example of this looks like. So if I go over back into the lead section I have here, let me pull up a lead list while this is all getting pulled up. But if I go over here into the import lead section and I import a new set of contacts, let's drag and drop this guy here. I'm going to skip over here. These are all kinds of different fields that can be mapped as variables. So let's say I want this unique variable, company headcount. If I want this to be a custom variable, I just map this as custom field. And just like that, I can use company headcount now is a new variable. Now, these are all duplicate leads, so I don't think this will get pulled in, but pretend they weren't. Now I can go over here and do, company headcount. Looks like it actually was pulled in. And now if I save this, let's see if it gets pulled in. There you go. It gets pulled in as a kind of unique variable. So if you want to import any kind of like custom unique stuff that gets rotated in and out, you can do it like that. Perfect use case for this is like personalized lines, any custom stuff like that. You can do that there. And if you want to insert variables, you just click this button and it'll pop all up. The cool thing is SmartLead also has default variables. You can do like time of day, day of week. They have it all in their help documents. So if you just Google like SmartLead help documents, you can find all the different types of stuff. So if you want to say like good morning, good afternoon, it can dynamically send that based on time of day. So SmartLead has a lot of cool variables, and you can also upload your own. So that's variables. The next thing we're going to talk about here is Spintax. So let me pull up my handy dandy whiteboard. So variables, this is like, I can't do the things right, but pretend first name, this is a variable, okay? Spintax, what Spintax is micro variations in your email that is randomized to help improve your deliverability. So what does this look like? Okay, if you go over here into the handy dandy script editor, and let's say we want to say, hi, first name. Very common way to open up an email. If you do an open bracket and a closed bracket, and then you put a line in between, hopefully this can be visible. I know this is really small. So you do hi with a open bracket, or close bracket, or open bracket, close bracket, line in between, and I do hello. So do you see? Open bracket, hi, line, hello, close bracket. Hopefully that makes sense. What this will do is it'll randomly say hi or hello in your email. So now if I go to the preview section here, it says hi. If I go to the next one, it might actually, I don't think Spintax actually showed in this editor view, so let me go over to the final review here. You can see this one says hi, Dan. This one says, hello, Justin. So it's randomly picking hi or hello. Now, and I can do this as many times as I want. So let me zoom back in. I can do hi, hello, hey. So now it's going to randomize between hi, hello, and hey. Now you might be asking, Matt, what is the purpose of this? Because the purpose of this is not to split test. If you really want to split test and use the add variant, the purpose of Spintax is that if you're sending high volume cold email, you do not want your emails to look identical to each other just with the change of a couple of variables, because then you can get flagged for spam. Your copy can get flagged as spammy copy. So if you add these little random snippets across your entire email, this will help improve your deliverability. So if we do this in, we can do this in an intro part. We can also do this in a subject line. So I can put subject line 1, and then ABC. And so half the people get subject line 1, half of them will get ABC, and then it's get randomized and randomized and randomized. And this is how you can have a lot of randomization in your cold email that will help you get around spam filters. So variables, then you got Spintax, you have, hi, hello, and then hey, right? And a third of the people get hi, third will get hello, third will get hey, and then you do this over and over again, and your emails will be very random and very unique and look humanly written. So that's Spintax check. Now, the third thing we're going to talk about is liquid Spintax. So similar name, different principle. So the point of liquid Spintax is, let's say hypothetically we had a lead list of 100 people, and of those 100 people, let's say 50 of those people have a first name in the list, first name, and then 50 of them there is no name, right? Let's say you just scraped a list and half the people have something true or half a variable and the other half don't. Now, one option is that you could separate these out into separate campaigns, which can work. Alternatively, what you can do is keep them all in the same campaign, and you just make a liquid Spintax conditional formula that inserts the first name for half the people and inserts a different line for the people with no name. So I'll give an example of how this is useful. So let's say, again, use this hypothetical. If we just say hi, I'm going to put FN for first name. The problem with doing something like this is, for the people who have no name, there will be this kind of like awkward space here because there's supposed to be a name. And so you might want to start your email slightly differently if they don't have a first name. You might want to say hi there, right? So maybe for the people that you have no name, you say hi there, right? And the people that do have a first name, you say hi first name. So how do you accomplish this? You use a liquid Spintax. So the way that you do this, I'm just going to copy and paste a snippet that I did for a different example. So you do this what is it? Curly brace, double curly brace, and then if, hashtag if, and then the condition. So if first name, close. So this is basically saying if first name does exist, then I'm going to simplify this so this doesn't get too complicated. Okay. If first name exists, say hi first name. Otherwise, if first name doesn't exist, then put the comma here. So hi, comma, hello, comma. Do you see the difference? Because if we just had no liquid Spintax, it would say hi, two awkward spaces, and then a comma, compared to if, in this case, now we have liquid Spintax. So if first name does not exist, it just says hi, comma. I'll get rid of the Spintax again to make this less complicated. So condition A, first name exists, hi, first name. Condition B, first name doesn't exist, hi, comma, and then it looks normal. So you can do this with any variable. So as an example, if you have a personalized first line, then you say if, personalized first line, then put the personalized first line, and if not, then you put a generic kind of burner sentence. So this is like a different way that you can kind of make sure that you're having kind of conditional logic around if you have something in or not in your campaign, so that way you can maximize your effort. So that is how you use the sequence editor to do first names and whatnot. One other quick thing I'll talk about in the sequence editor is you have this handy dandy email templates tab. So if you're looking for ideas on how to write campaigns and leverage variables and stuff like that, you can click through these and you can get kind of a lay of the land of all kinds of different angles that you can use, and you can select these templates. So that's how you use the sequence editor, liquid Spintax, and variables.